Hopefully, the class discussion today helped you become aware of your personality preferences. A preference is what you like. You may like or prefer peppermint candy over butterscotch. Your preferred way of functioning is more comfortable, automatic, and feels more confident for you. A good example of this is if you are right-handed or left-handed. Whatever preferred way you like to sign your name, go ahead and do that with your right or left hand. Then, switch the pen to your other hand. Try to sign your name exactly the same. This is a good way to demonstrate a preference. There are no right or wrong answers for preferences, and we use personality preference to understand ourselves, our preferences, and our behavior, and explore and select major and career options that we are more likely to enjoy. Personality preference results describe our personality only. This is not a skills or IQ test. The results describe personality preferences, not skills or abilities. The results also state that all personality preference types are equally important. Based on your responses, you are given a 4-letter type. It's one of these 16 types, and we are going to go into more detail about what those letters mean. Now, let's understand each preference pair in more detail. The first preference pair is extroversion and introversion, the way people prefer to interact with the world and where we direct our energy. Extroverts are energized by other people. They love external experiences. They're the party people. Introverts are energized by inner resources. They are energized by internal experiences. They gain energy from being alone. Extroverts love to jump in. They prefer action over reflection. Introverts love reflection and prefer it over action. Extroverts express thoughts and emotions freely. They experience life by verbalizing it. They may be at the risk of saying too much. Introverts keep thoughts and emotions private. They experience life through reflection. They may be at the risk of saying too little. Review this slide to look more closely at work preferences for extroverts and introverts. The next preference pair is sensing and intuition, the way people prefer to gather information and what we naturally notice and remember. Sensing preferences focus on facts. They prefer to use their 5 senses to gather information and see things as they are. Intuition preferences focus on interpretation and imagination. They see things from a personal point of view. Sensing preferences like to zoom in. They like to see the specific parts and the details. Intuition preferences like to zoom out. They look for patterns in relationships. Sensing preferences like things that are definite and measurable. They focus on today. Intuition preferences like opportunities to be inventive, and they look to the future for possibilities. Sensing preferences work at projects in a systematic way. They start at the beginning and take one step at a time. Intuition preferences work at projects with the end result in mind. They work in bursts of energy and need to see the context while working. Review this slide to look more closely at work preferences for sensing and intuition. The next preference pair is thinking and feeling, the way people prefer to make decisions. Do you follow your head or your heart, and what exactly does that mean? Thinking preferences are concerned with fairness and justice. They strive to make decisions that seem fair to everyone involved. Feeling preferences are concerned with relationships and harmony. They want to make decisions that include everyone and keep the harmony of the group. This slide gives a good visual for what thinking-feeling preferences could look like. Thinking preferences see the decision from the outside looking in. Feeling preferences sees the decision from the center as a participant within. Review this slide to look more closely at work preferences for thinking and feeling. The last preference pair is judging and perceiving, the way people prefer to live, in a more structured way or in a more spontaneous way. Remember, the word judging in this context does not mean judgmental. It only refers to the preference of structure and control. Perceiving does not mean perceptive. It means a preference for flexibility and spontaneity. Judging preferences' motto is, everything has its place. Perceiving preferences' motto is, experience life as it happens. Judging preferences feel comfortable in making decisions and closing the deal. Perceiving preferences feel comfortable keeping the decision open, maintaining openness, and making sure that they are considering all their options. Review this slide to look more closely at word preferences for thinking and feeling. If you have any additional questions, please call for an appointment at the Office of Academic and Career Services at 622-1296. We can meet with you and offer other assessments that may be more helpful to you.